Hi, what's up? There's never a good time to get sick, let's be clear about this, but I don't know. When it's warm out, that feels like the worst time to be sick. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, half the crew has been recovering from... So, this is me easing back into it. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are having a good Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday, June 5th. Wow. So that means June 6th is tomorrow. Huh. Cool. That's when the show started. Back in 2013. So it's the 11th year anniversary tomorrow? Just realized that. That's cool. Huh. All right. Nice. Tea's too hot to drink right now. But that's good. That's all right. Anyway, hey, how's everybody doing today? Hopefully y'all are doing well. I have 2 cups of tea, a cup of water. I didn't bring any of my Gatorades up because that's all I've been drinking is water and Gatorade since Saturday. Yeah. Gatorade's got too much sugar in it. Like a Gatorade Zero, that's good, but when you're sick, it helps. At least I find it helps me. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, better to be sick after HeavyCon than during. That's true, Jacob, but still. Speaking of recovering, Derek's in chat. I know he's still recovering as well, so all right. So I asked the question in chat about, is there anything y'all would like to see? Now, y'all are bringing up specific games, but I said, like, is there anything you want us to bring back? Anything you want to see, like top 10s or whatever, right? And so the stuff that I'm reading so far, let me grab that. There we go. More GMT games. Funny you mentioned that. I actually had a meeting with the director of marketing last week, so hopefully that comes to pass. We'll see about that. I would really like that to be as well. And Jakob, oh, I know it's Jakob, but anyway, Jacob. Hey, are there any games you could do a playthrough for advanced player stream for, where you could discuss actual strategy and such? What exactly is it you mean? Like, because I feel like we do that on our regular playthroughs. Like, we talk about our thought process, which I would argue is the strategy. But you're talking about, like, deep dives into strategy and stuff? I don't want to. I don't know if anybody in the crew would. Yeah, I don't want to speak for them, but I can ask and we'll see. But that's not something that interests me, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. I am but one person. Yes, I am the host of the show, but still. Just because I don't care for a game doesn't mean you're not going to see it on the stream, you know, something like that. So we'll see on that. Power grid maps. Normal the band says, hey, Normal, do me a favor. What maps have we not covered? Do that. Hit me up with that. Because I think we've done all the ones I own, at least. Alyssa says, more coin games. Me too. Just saying. Okay. All right. Carl says I could watch Weimar again, but maybe that's just me. No, it's not just you. So at the end of HeavyCon, got the crew together, or at least a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, and we came up with an immediate list and a here in the near future list of games that we would like to stream or could stream. And there's quite the mix. There's more Oath, there's Age of Industry, Age of Steam, obviously, City Tricks, Cascadero, Weimar, Struggle of Empires, Coffee Traders, Dominant Species Marine. I know we've done them, but still. Mr. President 2.0. Twilight Struggle Red Sea, Imperial Struggle, Hinkle and Stein. Hi, Rob. Liberty of Death, Tammany Hall, Marrakesh expansion, Great Western Trail in the newer versions of it, Galactic Renaissance, more Sidereal Confluence with the expansion, Arcs, obviously, 18 Ireland, 1856, Hegemony, and Dungeon Lords. That was like the short list of stuff. So there's that. Will you play an ARCS campaign? JB asks. I have inquiries out to Leader Games, and we shall see. So I hope to have an answer for you next week. Same with GMT. Maybe this week, but probably next week. Time Roller says, I mostly watch for the teachers. That's fair. I appreciate that. That's a compliment, so thank you. And by the way, I have this really nagging cough, so if I'm coughing throughout this, I'm not contagious through the screen, I promise. Just nagging. So I'm going to be drinking a lot of tea because I haven't done a lot since Saturday. It was only the second time I've been out of bed since then, so I beg your grace on this. 12 days of Christmas. What do you mean by that, Chep? Oh, and Alyssa, same thing. Yep, I feel you. Glad last day isolation. I feel you. Forwarders of Xanadu. I thought we streamed it. Maybe we only did a patron only on that? I forget. Really? They all blur together. There, George. Jonathan says, I think it'd be fun to see an occasional episode where you and some of the locals chat about upcoming stuff. So, that we're excited about. So when I was at the gathering and they did that little impromptu little, like chat, we're wanting to do that more. So something like that. That's a good idea. I am glad to hear that, there are folks out there that enjoyed that. Brian says, I'd like to see some streams that examine older game systems that keep steadily selling, like OCS and stuff. I hear you, Brian. But when it comes to the really hardcore Hex Encounter, like, that's a tough sell. Just now, I say that when still planning on doing D-Day at Omaha Beach. But the hardcore, like OCS and oh god, there's so many systems that I actually have in the library back there that just cannot think of the names of. I don't think I'm the best source for that because, like coin games, those I think we can crush pretty well. But the hardcore Hex Encounter. Now here's the thing. I do have access to people that I think would be great teachers of that. Eric Brocious, Joe Rashanana, stuff like that. So maybe, yeah, that's possible. Okay, that's fair. You know what? Time to get the old trusty notepad going for this. I mean, obviously, everyone's excited about more coin and more arcs. I mean, those seem to be the big ones that people are talking about. All right, Poland in the house. What's up, Mr. Coffee? More Oath. Ah, hey. And Chip says, early request for the Oath expansion. I mean, here's the thing. And look, I'm not trying to beat them over the head with this, but Leader does a lot of their stuff in house. Like if you look at the Oaths campaign, the Kickstarter that they or whatever whatever it is, the crowdfunding that they are currently doing, all of their videos are in house. You would think that if they wanted to do something outside their house, that they would reach out to us, considering what we've done with the campaign, and we have at least 4, if not more, people that are interested in doing continuing a new saga of Oath campaign. Sub in Kyle for Alyssa. I know John also is interested, so yeah. But here's the thing. It's one thing if they hear it from me, hey, we would like to work with you on this. It's another if they hear it from y'all. And I'm not asking y'all to do work for me. What I'm asking is, I don't know that they're going to want to do this stuff unless they hear it from both of us. So they're hearing it from me. So help me out. Help you out in that regard, I would say. Peter brings up the food chain magnet catch-up mechanism theoretically around the corner. I think a revisit would be fun. Cool. And on that note, when Jeroen came to HeavyCon, I did get a sneak peek on what they're working on. And that's that. Top 50. God, I keep forgetting about that. You know, it's interesting that y'all aren't like blasting me with top 10s. Like, oh, because let's face it, those get millions of views, it feels like. Wow, Normal came prepared. Yep. I made a promise, and I have 3 days to follow through on that promise about the podcast. Let's see. Power Grid. France. Okay. Let's see what else. It was Brazil, Spain, and Portugal. Okay. Okay. Way to be prepared on that, Normal. Thank you. All right. Barrage new expansions. Possibly, sure. Yeah, see, everybody's like, I know we played it and we streamed it, but did we stream Forwarders of Xanadu publicly? I can't remember. I really can't. Wow, y'all are coming with it. Okay. Oh, the 12 days of streaming around the Christmas time. Yeah, we could probably figure something out like that, Chip. For sure. And Brian says, yeah, I get that. OCS was just the first thing that jumped to mind. For sure. But I'll tell you what, if y'all come up with ideas for these things, like what they're doing for this, like for the more either perennial or like evergreen titles from the wargaming side of the world, I'm down for it potentially. That's all. Wow. Tactical fillers or shorter games? The surprise game of Raw was fun to watch. Yeah, the Raw game of the Weimar ending. That was fun. That was silly but fun. But I hear you. Okay, good. War of the Ring with expansions. So, hold on. Triumph and Morongo. If we're going to do that, hold on. I have Napoleon and Bonaparte, and I also have Napoleon's Triumph in there. Like, we're going to do the real ones first. Like, then we'll get to those. I feel like that's the way we're supposed to. Maybe we go about it the other direction. I'm not sure. I can't write and I can't spell today. Whew, good thing y'all can't see what I'm writing here. Jeez, this is terrible. Robert, was there a time you did a visit the herd type thing when you drew a name and visited them, or am I imagining things? Could that be a thing again? Yes, the herd around the world, Robert. COVID put a big squash on that. Could we bring it back? Absolutely. That's going to be a maybe down the road thing when it's possible. We'll see, but it's something that's back there. So yes. Funny you mention histo games like Virsindas Volk and such. Asher and I are planning on doing that along with maybe D-Day at Omaha Beach. So that is a plan, Jakob. Yes, but everyone else does top 10s. Yeah, but nobody does top 10s like we would do top 10s, I would argue. I'm just saying, normal. Just saying. Print and play. That is not something I feel inclined to do, Gitter. I just... I have enough to do to where print and play and arts and crafts really isn't my bag. Here I stand. That has been brought up a number of times, and that is a possibility. It's funny, people are bringing up Interstellar and not High Frontier. Now, I am in discussions about possibly doing another giant High Frontier. I'll leave it at that. Just saying. Stellar Horizons. That's probably never going to happen, Fabio. Unfortunately. They're cliche, but people watch them, Melissa. Top 10s. I'm just saying. Oh, right. Hold on. Shoot. Paul wants me to ask questions so he can edit the afterwards. I will get better. Sorry, I forgot. All right, Jakob says, I just checked. There is a public playthrough of Forwarders of Xanadu. Yes. That feels good. I thought we did that. Mr. Aubin says, Kremlin's getting a new printing this summer. Might make an interesting stream. Okay. Not shorter games, Fernando, Jakob, and Marcus say. Longer games. Okay. I already took care of it for you, Jakob, talking about High Frontier. Time Roller, have you ever streamed any prototypes? It's funny you mentioned that, because Coffee Traders, we did a prototype of that. We've never streamed the final version of Coffee Traders. I have no idea why. That just was a miss. We're going to take care of that on Friday. We also did, oh God, the musical 18XX-ish game. I cannot remember the name of that. Golden, yes, anyway, there's that. I have also, put it out there that if there are any designers out there that have unpublished games, unsigned games that would like to maybe highlight, I wouldn't mind doing those on occasion. And I've talked to some designers about that specifically, and I'll throw it out there again, that if there are any designers out there that have unsigned prototypes that you think would be a good fit for the show, reach out and we'll see. We could make that happen and try and put more eyeballs on it for you. Maybe help facilitate that match for designer and publisher. No promises, obviously, but Fiddle of Gold. That's it. Well done, Shrey. So, yes, we have, to answer your question. Chip says, D-Day at Omaha Beach is just so good. Can't wait to see you play it. Me too. Fernando says, my request for a giant High Frontier would be with Module 3. Is that the one with combat? I can't remember. Can't remember what Module 3 is. He says there is no material out there on it at all. But I assume if it's happened, it's probably M5 to promote it. No. It would be 0 through 4 or something like that. I can't exactly remember what Jeff and I discussed, the details of that. So that is a possibility. And so yeah, Module 3 specifically, what is that one? It's the conflict one. Unlikely that happens, but it could. Spiteski says Indonesia with the new reprint coming out. That could happen. Almost let that slip. Christian asks, hello, would it be possible to play a Nucleum game with the Australia map? If Board and Dice would like us to, yes. That is a possibility. I almost said something about Nucleum that I'm not supposed to talk about. So, never mind. All right, well, I got quite the list here from y'all so far. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. Like, what is up with that? Shrey says, I think a discussion on a previous year's games and how you might evaluate that year for the Golden Elephant Award now could be interesting, but it could also be reiterating what we already know. Shrey, are you talking about for years in which the Golden Elephant Award did exist, or before that, like 2005, just picking a random year, it doesn't matter? Or are you saying like revisiting 2017, or again, picking a random number, or both? I think that would be interesting. I think so. I think it would be more interesting in the hypothetical, what the discussion of pre Golden Elephant Award existence. Shrey says primarily for when it did exist. I think that would be interesting. I think there's merit to both of those. I think we could do this, every so often. I like that idea. Yeah, I see no downside to it. There we go. Chip says your guess the game streams from components or photographs of part of the board were great fun. Interviews with designers and publishers. All right, so I get the guess the game stuff. The problem with that is I've done it enough now to where, I mean, I guess I could revisit some of those. Plus, there would be new ones and stuff. So I get, yeah, we could do that once a year or so. I think that could happen. My question for interviews is who? Yeah, who would y'all like me to interview? Chip says, how to start a heavy game personal library. We are a terrible group for that. You don't want to include like me and James in that, because both of our collections are well in excess of 1,000 games. And the first year I was in a hobby, I had over 500 games. So that's not I'm a bad judge of that. So Cole, David Turtsey, Martin Wallace, like I've interviewed all of them. So, I mean, is it just the same people revisited because of their new games? How interesting is that? Like for me, I'd like to sit down and talk with Volko Runke and dig into like Coast Watchers and that whole new system that he's come out with. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. It says I will judge your collection. There are a number of wargame designers that I would like to sit and talk with, but I don't feel intelligent enough to do so yet. Yeah, I mean, there's so much, honestly, in GMT's library and library of designers as well that I would like to have an interview with and cover. There's so much there. Yeah, I would like to get back to doing some interviews with that. So, okay, good. I'm glad to hear this. But what other questions do you guys have? All right, there's a list of ideas here, which I'm grateful for. I think these are great. Liz Davidson, David Thompson, Volko, Ricky Royal. I think those are great ideas. That sounds... Marcus says, D-Day at Omaha Beach. Man, that game. I was so happy when I finally beat the first stage of the intro scenario, only to realize I was calculating success wrong and didn't win. Sign of a good game. Struggle. Like, it's funny. I still have, because I've been laid up sick, the engineer's workbook here from Alban Viard. And the printouts that I made for volume 2, that kicked my butt. Reading some of the comments of that, like, yeah, you lost on turn 2 or whatever, you just didn't realize it. That's awesome. That is such a fun, humbling experience. But I want to struggle. I want a solo to be difficult like that. So I get that. I totally get that, Marcus. Matt says, or asks, when do we get to know who won the Golden Elephant Award? So normally it would have already been announced, but we've all been sick. And so that's kind of on hold. Like, so soon, let us all recover. Like, we're barely, like, tomorrow's the first day we're getting together, really, post HeavyCon, since so many of us have been very under various aspects of under the weather. It's not all like, some people came down with COVID, some people got cold, some people got the flu. It's been crazy. So soon, to answer the question. Jonathan asks, how about Locals Chat episode, historical events that you haven't seen games for? Give me an example of something that you would like on that, Jonathan. That would be cool. But I like the idea, just in general. Adam says, interviews are more interesting when you aren't discussing their games, so it doesn't matter if they have anything new coming down the pipe. That's fair. I always, like, I'm the world's biggest 5-year-old. I always want to know the why of things and how. So that makes sense. That's interesting to some of y'all as well. Jakob asks, when you did a playthrough of PAX Emancipation, you played with 2 academics who could provide historical context to the game. Could you do something similar for some games, war games in particular? Good question, and glad you asked. In fact, they were both at HeavyCon, Jakob. They were Russ and Patrick. And we're going to be, the next time you're going to see them is soon, and it's going to be for Struggle of Empires. We're gonna be able to talk about some of that. So yes, good question, and well done. I'm glad you brought that up. Robert asks, what's your take on HeavyCon 7? Or was it 8? Inside joke. Highs, lows, what would you do differently? Have somebody else work on the, handle the communication. So I'm good at doing the show. I think, at least. I think I am. I'm terrible at communication. I know that's a big limiter here for the show and the show's growth. I am aware of this. We're addressing that. So some of the things I am offloading for HeavyCon going forward, as far as like communication. Derek's obviously doing the signage and so Rob comes up with the theme and the graphics, and then Derek does the signage. Gonna have some folks help with communication. We think we didn't have as much prize support as we have in the past. That's this guy's fault. That won't be a problem going, so that'll be improved for next year. I enjoyed the catered dinner on Friday night. I thought we could do a little bit better for next year and plan on doing that. Other than that, I think, given the feedback, so after HeavyCon, which was Memorial Day weekend, which was not last weekend, but the weekend before, I sent out a survey asking for feedback. I got about 40% or so of the attendees have messaged or have responded anonymously to the survey, and the general feedback was really, really positive. And so I think just the communication leading up to it, and honestly, some of the aspects that people thought could be improved upon are going to be improved upon simply by growing the numbers a little bit. What I mean by that is sometimes in these smaller attended conventions that aren't thousands of people, you get, well, actually, I would say even especially with those, but also with the smaller conventions like this. With these longer games, people sometimes get stuck in their little pod. And what I mean is you start a game with this group, say it's 4 or 5 people, whoever, whatever, three to 5. The game goes 2 to 5 hours, whatever it might be. And then you take a break, have a snack, whatever. And then you go and you want to get into another game. Well, because it's limited numbers, a lot of other people are already in games, and it's hard to kind of juggle between groups. So having the increased number of attendees will help with that, because there will be more games that break more often, and so there's more ability for crossover. So that is one thing. That's probably the biggest thing that people were like, yeah, that I would like to see if we could improve that a little bit. So I dig that. The second thing, and this is where I have questions for y'all, because I'm an extrovert. I know, big surprise, yeah. But even extroverts hit their limit with people at times, but that's not what this is asking about. A lot of people in this hobby, whether they attend HeavyCon or not, are introverts. And one of the things that people asked was, is there a way to facilitate introverts getting, like, meeting one another? And we have, players wanted signs, we have teacher wanted signs and all that at HeavyCon. But every idea I brainstormed is something that an extrovert would have no problem doing. That's me. So my question for y'all is, if you are not as extroverted as me or somebody like Jakob, what is a good way coming into a smallish convention, and I mean under 200, 250 people, if you're new, to be able to meet these new people? One of the ways that we facilitated this in the past, and we're bringing this back for next year, is when you get when you come in, you sign the guest log, and I should describe HeavyCon for those that haven't attended. Maybe that's a good idea. Let's go with that. So, HeavyCon, invite only convention. It's fans of the show, patrons and folks that interact throughout the year. Fly out or travel to Boston here, and there's a convention that I host. And by I mean me and Jess and locals all help out with, and we play games for 5 days. Memorial Day weekend. It is the last weekend in May. So this last year, it was Wednesday the 22nd through Monday the 27th. Next year, it is May 22nd through the 26th. Maybe I got my number. But anyway, that's what it is for next year, right? That feels right. And how this works is when you arrive, you sign the guest book, you get your badge, you get your badge holder, you get 3 peanuts to be able to vote for the People's Choice Golden Elephant Award. And then there's swag that you can purchase. Normally there are giveaways. Sometimes there's a gift bag. There may be like a coffee cup or something along those lines, a t-shirt, and giveaways. And the giveaways are vouchers for games. This year, Eagle was kind enough to provide a plethora of games, a whole bunch, everything from Inventions to Age of Steam to Age of Steam expansions, the whole 9 yards. So big thanks to Eagle for all of that. In years past, Capstone has more than adequately supplied everybody with giveaways, so on and so forth. In years past, we've had as many as 40 different publishers give at a single convention. So everybody gets random vouchers, and then you can trade these vouchers the first couple of days, and then usually Friday night, we have a hosted dinner. Every day there's also snacks at 2 p.m. So everybody gets free snacks. There's coffee and tea and water throughout the entire convention for everybody, free, or it's part of the cost. Friday night is dinner. Friday night historically is also when we announce the Golden Elephant Awards, and we also do all the giveaways. And then it's open gaming. I mean, you schedule stuff, and it's all one or two big rooms, and then a couple of side breakout rooms for people that want quiet rooms. We just ask that people don't camp out in those rooms. And like I said, it's between 100 and 250 pre-COVID to post-COVID numbers, and that's that. That's HeavyCon. So that trading of the vouchers, that was one of the ways that we would use to break the ice for folks. So my question is, what are ideas that you guys have that would encourage you to step out of your shell? Now, those are the low points, I guess, the things that like could be improved upon. And while y'all are answering the question of how would you go about doing that, the other thing, the highs are everybody's friendly. Like, legitimately, I heard one person say one thing about one person ever. So there's that. Everyone's pretty welcoming. Whether they know you or not, if they have a players wanted sign, you want to come play. And it has been fantastic. I saw pickup games of, oh God, I'm trying to think. Obviously, like your standard length Euro, there were pickup games of Civolution, which was one of the most popular games. Matthias from D-Print was there running demos of that. By demos, I mean full games. The entire weekend. Apparently, Kyle is secretly working for Leader Games. He was running pickup games of John Company and Arcs all weekend. There were tons of games. There were pickup games of Titan. Trying to think, pickup games, Coffee Traders. There's a ton. La Famiglia, a whole bunch. Some scheduled, some unscheduled, but it seemed everybody was welcoming, everybody was friendly, and genuinely everybody had a great time, and everybody loves the free coffee. But what would I do differently? Just better on the communication and the giveaways. And the funny thing is in the survey, the giveaways are nice, but it's not vital to most of the attendees. It's just something that I think is important to do. And, you know, when we do for Roman 5s, you know, slashes, being able to count those, that'd be good. That's, oof. Anyway. So, there's that. All right. Can we expect ARC's gameplay? Marius asks. And how's the game? I think the game's pretty cool. I played it a lot of us now have played it a number of times because it was basically in constant, it almost didn't leave the table once it was on the table at the beginning of HeavyCon. Can we expect an ARC's gameplay? I hope so. Eventually. Hopefully soon. I'm hoping. And campaign? I'm hoping. Like I said, I've reached out to Leader Games and talked to them, so we'll see. Spitesky, what is your favorite light game at the moment, or in general? Oh, boy. I mean, whenever we have the right amount of people, I mean, Medici always seems to hit the table and come out. I don't know that it's my favorite light game. Yeah, it's a tough one. Favorite light game. I don't know. I'll think on it though, Spitesky. Andrew asks, can you rekindle the Power Grid series? Love Age of Steam, but would love you guys to play one or two of the maps you didn't cover. Yes, we've already touched on that. And apparently, France, Brazil, Spain, and Portugal. Fernando asks, two questions. Now that Mr. President is out, what's your most expected, I think he means anticipated release? Civolution has got to be high on that list. I should talk about that real quick, because I know there's a number of patrons watching this, and I feel like I didn't quite explain what happened with that clear publicly for everybody, so let me do that now. So, we did, back up, at the Gathering of Friends, Philip from Deep Print Games was there, and he had a prototype of Civolution. Civolution is the upcoming Stefan Feld game from Deep Print that is finally, Stefan Feld takes on a civilization game. And it is, there's almost nothing about this game that says it's Stefan Feld. Let me start there. Because let me describe it to you as it was described to me. It's a Stefan Feld game that takes 45 minutes to an hour to teach and 2.5 to 4 hours to play. When I heard this, I was like, this is either going to be horrible or amazing, and probably nowhere in between. That was my initial, when I heard that, I was like, wait, what the, really? Stefan Feld. So, okay. And we walked over to the table where it was set up, and it was two giant tables pushed together because it was not small. You'll see this when we stream it. Not small. Comes in a surprisingly small box for a game that takes up as much table space as it does. So that was my impression of it. After we played it, Philip was like, hey, I want to give you the prototype. Take it home, do with it what you will. Matthias Naj, who is the CEO of Deep Print Games, was coming to HeavyCon and was going to run demos of Civolution. Cool. So, factor in all this information and the fact that I know Grogan had done a unboxing. I was like, you know what? Yeah, one of the perks of being a patron is y'all get patron-only streams and you get behind-the-scenes stuff that isn't either ready for the public or is, you know, trial and error stuff where we test things. And they get to see things before the public does. So my thinking here was, you know what? Since Grogan did this unboxing video, why don't I do a public setup video? Because I'm going to get ready to set it up and we're going to do a patron-only stream of Civolution. And you know what? Why don't I just stream that? The setup. I can't stream or you know, I was under the impression that we were going to stream Civolution when Matthias was in town, either right before or right after HeavyCon. So this is where everything was. So I stream the setup. Setup was like an hour and a half video. I tend to take my time on these things. It is a long setup. It's about a 45-minute setup. If you're setting it up by yourself, it's about 15 minutes if you have other people table with you. So I stream that, and then we do the patron-only stream. Awesome. Everything's great. The patrons are thrilled. The ones that watched it and the others that were going to watch, like everybody was stoked for it. Got a bunch of new patrons to be able to watch it. That was kind of a selling point, if you will. Great. Everything's wonderful. For some unknown reason, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning that night. Checked my email. No idea why. And I got an email from Matthias saying, please take those down. Okay. He's the publisher. Okay. So I did. I took him down. And when Matthias got here, he and I spoke about it. It was a simple miscommunication and change of plans on their end. So no harm, no foul there. But here's what happened. They were considering doing a Kickstarter. They're not. They are just going to publish it traditional, and it's going to be released Essen timeframe. They will have copies at Essen, and it will be everywhere after that. So I discussed this with Matthias, and Matthias is the kind of guy you want to work for. I don't work for him. He runs his own company. I run Heavy Cardboard. But he's the type of boss that empowers the people. He doesn't micromanage. So if he says you're in charge of X, you're in charge of X. Well, his marketing team has decided that it is too early to market Civolution. I respect what he has requested, so we are not going to have that public until they give us the okay. And then probably around September, we will be able to make that public and be able to stream it publicly. That is subject to change, but that's where it is, and that's why that happened. So, okay. I don't know if any of y'all were asking for that, but that's kind of the how the sausage is made, behind the scenes stuff that I think you guys enjoy. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you... Again, I told you there would be stories because it's me. So, getting back to Fernando's question. Now that Mr. President is out, what's your most anticipated release? I mean, I would like the updated stuff for Mr. President. That would be cool. There's that. Civolution is definitely up there. Yeah, one last thing on Civolution. So it wasn't like a bait and switch. I didn't do that on purpose, y'all. I apologize. Just, it was out of my control. I mean, I suppose I could have thumbed my nose at Matthias and just been like, nah, tough. I'm keeping it up. That's not the way to do business. So, plus, Matthias is a friend. I wouldn't do that. Plus, it's just bad business. That's just dumb. So, anyway, so there you go. What else? Coast Watchers from Volko Runke. I am really, I would argue that entire series. So I have, oh God, Blackbeard downstairs, which is now running on Kickstarter. Definitely recommend checking that out. I am not doing any sponsored stuff for that, but I can unequivocally say that is a hell of a fascinating system that Volko has come up with. There are currently 3 games that he's designed in that system. There's the later one, which is the Hunt for Blackbeard from Fort Circle Games. Go check that out. Legit, go check that out. There is Coast Watchers, which is the World War II one, which is the one I played a demo prototype playtest, fill in the right words, of at Circle DC, which was fantastic. And then there is the World War I one with blimps, dirigibles, and such that I know almost nothing about, but I am really interested in as well. So that is probably my most anticipated game out there. For Euro, I would say Civolution. And here you go. I'm going to drop a something that, to the best of my knowledge, none of y'all know about. Let me double check something. I need to look something up before I step on my, yeah. I guess there is some info about it. A little bit. Anyway, I didn't know about this until 3 days ago, maybe. And I've been, again, sick as a dog, dying. So I haven't really dug into it yet. There's apparently an unpublished expansion for coffee traders that Rolf says, once you've played it, you're never going to want to play without it. Really? So I'm waiting for more information from Rolf. Rolf Sagel, co-designer. Rolf and Andre, both. So I reached out. He reached out. Rolf reached out to me. I reached out, and I'm waiting to hear back. So that would be high on the list. So now, when we stream Coffee Traders later this week, and by this week I mean Friday, it'll be without that. But that doesn't mean we're not going to have the unpublished prototype of the expansion soon to be able to stream. I don't even know if it's even supposed to be published down the road. I know nothing about it. So we'll find out. So we'll see. So I think that answers your question, Fernando. That is a hell of a long answer to your question. Sorry. It's me, though. You expect that, right? Yeah. All right. Going in the 14th. I want to know what happened to the first 13 going in. Happened to catch this stream by accident. Hold on. Back up. Pause. Where'd you hear it? And why didn't you know about it? I'm serious. I want to know. Please tell me. How did you stumble upon it? But was wondering whether or not you as a group have any interest in doing more OG, old school German games. Yeah, I think we do that, don't we? I mean, oh God, you're going to make me do this. Let me go look. Hold on. Because I can't remember what we streamed last week, much less recently. Let us look. Now, this isn't trying to say you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying that I think we do this. Okay, a lot of recent games going through outside of Age of Steam. We did Dungeon Pets. Yeah, I guess that's not terribly old. Age of Industry. Vinos. Ultimate Railroads. I mean, that's Russian railroads, right? We did El Grande. Star Wars Rebellion. Okay, not old school OG German. They're fair, but older. Yeah, I guess we haven't done as many older stuff recently. Demacher. I mean, that's about as OG German as you can get. Crystal Palace at this point. Lisboa. Again, not OG, but El Grande. But yes. Fair question. And yeah, we definitely are totally down. We did Lowenhertz this year, I think. So there is some of that. So is there anything going in the 14th? Going in? Going in. I think going in. By the way, that's probably somebody historical that I have no idea who is, but I digress. Is there anything in particular you're asking for? Chip, had to run. Take care. Any poker updates? Zero. I cannot remember the last time I had a poker session. March? February, March? Oh, God. No, yeah, it's been forever. I never went to go play cards. Still, I've been to 3 gathering of friends. I've never played poker in Canada. I need to go over there and play. I just haven't. I stand corrected. Although I don't know if this really counts. I was invited. It was an invite only. An invitational only within the invitation only event. The Gathering of Friends. Craig ran a 9-person tournament. I helped run it, and then I won the damn thing. So there was that. It was just a little sit and go. That was fun. That was cute. That was cool. But I miss playing poker, and I really want to go play soon. So it's my birthday Saturday, so maybe soon. That'd be cool. That'd be nice to be able to do. Golden Elephant Award. Will we have a show discussing all the finalists? Fernando asks. Yes, we will. I need to... Definitely. Let everybody heal, and I will say sometime in June. Okay. Jakob. By the way, so for those that don't know Jakob, he is a very friendly, talkative, super nice, very forward, and I mean this in a loving, kind way, Dane. So from Denmark, obviously, and who is huge into fantasy football, like American fantasy football. He's in like an obnoxious amount of dynasty leagues. It's amazing. I think that was awesome. I think that's fantastic. Anyway, it's probably TMI, but whatever. He asks, obligatory non-gaming question. Who's going to win the Super Bowl next season? Jakob asks. I know who won't, and that's my Cowboys. Why? Because never. I have no idea. It's too early to tell. I've given this zero thought so far. I'm in baseball. It's baseball season. My Reds are going for a sweep. For the first time in I don't know how long in Colorado, probably because I'm not there. They won last night. They won the first 2 of the series in Colorado. For the first time, they've won a series in Colorado since 2016. Just to put things in context, like they never win there. So that's nice. They're finally getting healthy, so that's cool. All right, going in, says Magna Graecia. I don't know the game. I'll check it out. I appreciate that. Goinen says, I've been fixating on Magna Graecia recently. I think you'd really enjoy the gameplay if it weren't for the horrible artwork that won't be readable on stream. The way I see it is, if I can look past Masters of Venice, Metropolis, and Quebec, all three amazingly good games, all three not the best lookers. So, okay. Stefan says, Edward, greetings from Finland. Hi, what's up? Maybe a hegemony playthrough again with the expansions. Great stuff, and keep going. I appreciate that. Thank you. So full disclosure, I have not played hegemony since we streamed it. Not opposed to it. I don't have a copy. So, but obviously a lot in the group do. We could make that happen. I have it marked down. That's a possibility. Mr. Funny Shoes says hi and hugs from the UK. Hi, thanks. It's nice. That's warm. Are you going to do more two-player game series? I've been itching to see Hannibal and Hamilcar played out. I reckon HC is the only place for it. I reckon you're probably right, Mr. Funny Shoes. And good news for you. Ken, now, the way I see this, I have certain people for certain games, right? Like Area Control, probably not going to get Fowler involved a whole lot in those, right? Not his cup of tea. By the way, for those that don't know, Mr. Fowler is on sabbatical. And by sabbatical, I mean on vacation for the next 2 months. We basically won't see him till the end of July. He and his beautiful bride are out visiting Europe. So he will be gone for the foreseeable future. But I hope he has a great time. He did this last year. Retirement's great. Good for him. Let's see. So my Wargaming crew, as I see it, for the most part, there are exceptions, right? I mean, Shrey could, get in there somewhere. Like, Shrey's a part of Oath, and maybe I could see Paul a little bit there. But really, my Wargaming crew is Ken, John, Asher, but I think now that school is out and kids are gone, I think Asher is more available. To a lesser degree, Kyle. We're trying to get Kyle into it, and I think that's working, so that's good. So that. And with Ken, given what he does for a living, and we're going to be able to see Ken a lot more here soon, in a good way. It's positive. It's not a negative thing. So yes, to answer your question, abso-freaking-lutely. Really excited about that, Mr. Funny Shoes. And Jakob would like it known he's an introvert. He just masks very well. Shockingly well, I would say. All right, now people are coming up with ideas for when they register, games I'd like to play, publish it. I like that idea, Brian. Carl says, have a couple of introvert-only games led by HeavyCon experienced introverts. Relies on self-identification, but that's okay. Unpack that for me, Carl. How would that work? How would that be? That's interesting. Online sign-up sheets. Yes, that is something that I think we can do a little bit better for. Here's my question. Also, do the majority of y'all that partake in Heavy Cardboard / HeavyCon, are you BGG members? Would a geek list work better than the Google sign-up sheet? See, Paul basically is asking the question that I was alluding to. I'd love to get a picture of what a typical self-identifying introvert would look like in a convention geared toward playing games with strangers. That's kind of what I'm alluding to. Yes. Shrey says on introverts getting to know people, you could have a list of basic topics that you suggest people start with before a game. As simple as where are you from? How long have they lived there? What do you like about it? Etc. Well, the nice thing is, I mean, it has a location where people are from on their badges. So there's that. But okay, fair. I hear you. Alyssa says midnight. 4X games are always nice. Yes. So there were a couple of midnight, Alyssa on Saturday night, Friday night or Saturday night at midnight. She started a 4X game, which is fantastic. I believe there was a game of Tricarian starting up at like 11 o'clock at night. That was awesome. 4-player hegemony is a pickup game. Agreed. Am I going to SplatterCon? Gary asks. I am not. Just scheduling wise, just not going to happen. The Bocal says, I loved the long interview with the Splatter guys about Horseless Carriage long before it was released. Would love to see something like that again. As would I. When the time comes, I feel confident that that will happen. Urin and I discussed that when he was at HeavyCon. Joe says, as a new attendee to HeavyCon, I was pleasantly amazed by how friendly it was. There's a big local presence, but as an outsider, I felt welcomed. So that's good. Marcus says, I'm so excited for Red Dust Rebellion. I get all childish and giggly when talking about it. Fair enough. It's on my list. Oh, God. Hold on. Highs and lows. So, anticipated games. Cross Bronx Expressway. That's another one. NB. So, Non-Breaking Space was an attendee at HeavyCon. So that was great. And he was kind enough to bust out his prototype of Cross Bronx Expressway and run us through a game of that. So that was wonderful. And it plays way quicker than I thought it was going to. It plays realistically 2.5 hours, and really looking forward to that. So that was a highlight for sure. Oh, Fernando says, hey, what on earth are those two translucent spheres on the Glory to Rome board? They're magnets. That's all. They're just magnets. They were up here to hold Rita from Brides and Bribes, and I don't know where Rita went. She has grown legs. She has stepped out. She has been missing. I've not heard a peep from Rita since she hit the road. So that's sad. Alyssa says, poker room in Gatineau? Is that how you pronounce that? Across the river. How far away is that, Alyssa? I'm just saying that could maybe happen. Tim says, I would love to see John Company again. I still need to get with Ricky and do a solo of that. So that, and as well as multiplayer, I assume that's what you're talking about. And yeah. Robert asks, how about a heavy cardboard poker game one night at the convention? I mean, it could happen. Honestly, you know what I think would be fun? But the thing is, I don't know how many attendees actually play poker. Like, as a pre-convention or a post-convention, like, thing we could do. Take an outing one night. something like that. And go play a proper, go to a card room and go play. So that would be cool, I think, maybe. I refuse to read that, John. Or Matt's. Jonathan says, more Hungry Hungry Hippos. If y'all didn't see, we had a live action Hungry Hungry Hippos event at HeavyCon. That was amazing. That was fantastic. That was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Take care, Spitesky. Okay, fair enough, Carl. Says, I'm not sure, but my idea is not to segregate them, as I'm one of them, but rather pair them through a game with someone who knows the con. I think that's fair. I think that's a viable idea. I appreciate that. Thanks, Carl. Adam says, NB mentioned that he wanted people to see the art and components for the first time when they open their copy. Based on that, any chance you would stream the game using his prototype? That would require permission from two people. Well, two entities. NB himself and GMT. So maybe, Adam, talking about Cross Bronx Expressway, that's a possibility. John says, Shrey and I got to play MB's Urban Sprawl variant with him. That was a ton of fun. That's cool. Awesome. Fernando, what happened to the patron count in 1,000 tattoo? When we get close again, I will revisit that. It still holds. And for those, excuse me, those that don't know what Fernando's talking about, I have committed to, if we ever get 100 patrons, 1,000 patrons, paying patrons at one time, I will get Davis tattooed, and that still holds. But we're a fair bit away from that, so not too worried about that right now. Glory to Rita was a great stream. I agree, Alyssa. That was fantastic. Shrey says, I'm so happy I finally got to play Urban Sprawl again, and with the variant, and with the person who designed the variant. So. Alyssa says, we are a mere 90-minute flight from you, or an 8-hour drive. But why? Because I like driving? That's why? But fair point. 90-minute flight is better in that regard. Jonathan says you get some experienced convention guests to volunteer half days as big siblings for new attendees who feel overwhelmed. I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. Good idea. I like that. What was the Glory to Rita stream? It's the Brides and Brides stream. That was a classic for sure. Yes, that was a good one. That was fun. All right, so what else do y'all got? I need to check Patreon, see if there were any questions on there that I haven't gotten to yet. So a moment. Nope. All right. So do y'all have anything else for me? So we have a lot here. That's good, for sure. Plus, like I said, all the other stuff that we had already talked about internally here that I mentioned earlier. And yeah, looking forward to that. And what did I say? We said 56 or Ireland, right, Alyssa? So upcoming stream, sure, I can talk about that. We have... All right, so the immediacy stuff. Tomorrow is going to be a 5-player, patron-only dominant species stream. So the reason for that, twofold. Number one, we have a number of folks that haven't played dominant species before. My bad. Also, that's not going to be used tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of put the kids to bed before you watch that one tomorrow is what I'm trying to say. So patrons, it's one of the benefits you get. Then on Friday, we're going to be doing Coffee Traders, 4 players. Looking forward to that one a lot. That's it for this week. Then, depending on availability of folks, health, availability, the whole 9 yards. Oath, City Tricks, Cascadero, Weimar, Dominant Species Marine, Hinkelstein, Liberty or Death. Did I say Oath? And yeah, that's the immediate. Oh, also, there are two. Where are they? They are downstairs. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so yeah, Xylotar and Sandbag, a couple of card games from Bezier also are going to be probably next week as well. Struggle of Vampires soonish. Once we lock down a firm date, I will announce that it'll be June or July. That is what we are definitely looking to. Fellis says, I'm constantly looking over there at Liberty or Death and realize I still need to play my copy. I'm just saying that very well might be very soon. So you could wait till that shows up on a certain channel. That's an option. All right. All right. So there you go. So this week, patron only dominant species and public coffee traders on Friday. So dominant species tomorrow, coffee traders on Friday. Then next week, we're looking at the 2 card games from Bezier, as well as some mix of Oath, City Tricks, Cascadero, Dominant Species Marine, maybe Weimar in there, maybe Twilight Struggle, Hinkelstein, some mix of that. There we go. All right, that's a wrap. I am pretty wiped anyways. That's a lot of talking for somebody who's getting over being sick. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you're a patron, thanks for the support. If you're not a patron, consider supporting the show right there. You get a lot of benefits. You get access to the Slack channel. You also get the patron-only streams. Those are really, honestly, the 2 big hooks, I think. And then now that I'm not inundated with HeavyCon stuff and being sick, also the occasional, update from me on what all's going on behind the scenes. So there's that. Certainly appreciate it. Thanks for all the suggestions. I have a lot of stuff listed here. So thanks for taking the time. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you all. If you're a patron, I will see you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for Dominant Species. If you're not a patron, I'll see you 7 o'clock on Friday for Coffee Traders. So I'm Edward. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Take care. See y'all later. And bye.